Hello again, I'm Scott Rudrow from the Computer Science Program Master's Courses at Full Sail University. And I'm here talking about 4.2 Milestone 3 of this course. The milestone is important because it's a time to reflect on what we've done and what we continue to do at Full Sail. And I'm making this tape documenting it. Let me start off by sharing my screen. Right here we have the very familiar documentation from my high level design document. Sorry, the ADHD has totally gotten me today. We're actually going with C++ instead of C#. I found that it integrates better with SDL, which is SDL, not SLD. And I'm not in, oh, I am. Let's fix that. I guess I can't fix it. We're stuck in editing mode. So, development of an interface, we've done that. Development of a 2D animation system, almost did that. Proved mathematics and mechanics, we definitely did that. Developed character animation system, never got to it. Impact mechanics and explosions, the only place they happened was in my mind. And testing, we went through some testing documentation, and that was cool. The pseudocode is not as good as the real code, so let's just bring up the real code. Okay, PCH was required for compiling the data. SDL, direct media layer. Simple direct media layer was definitely useful. It was not as hard to learn as C in some areas and harder in others because it's an entirely own language and not much of C has anything to do with it. But we also had SDL in main, SDL video, standard input output, the game code document that I made, which was right here. String, of course, bowl, standard library, Windows standard library, IO, stream, which allows us to get things in and out of the system, and SDL events, which will allow us to use the mouse. We went over bowls, screen width was 1,000, screen height is 500. So it's 2-to-1 ratio, easy to do. The main, it took me a while to get main and some research because the main function required these parameters, which are specific to SDL. And no one seems to know why they're specific to SDL. Just the SDL does not run without them. Also, tidbit. SDL does not run well without a restore return zero command. We can get away with it here because we're stuck in a while loop, but usually it doesn't run well without one of those. So what else can I tell you about this? The video renderer, we actually went with DirectX video renderer, DirectX 12. We initialized everything in SDL because we didn't want to take time to individually activate each function. When it had an activation function that just activated joysticks and cameras and everything that SDL can do. Amazing program. And the Windows part where it doesn't necessarily shut down. Okay. This is where the menu stopped working. I had problems with Git all week where I had to stop using Git and start over again because for some reason Git always gave me some form of an error. Here, Git gave me an error open, permission denied. I don't know why. So here we have functionality for the menu, which we got working. Unfortunately, the menu, we didn't have enough time to actually lay in the mathematics. We got that return line in there. Game logic. And game logic CPP, which allowed us to complete that loop. So we did that. We got our math solved. Basically, any high schooler can do this math. But integrating it with a computer program, much harder. Much, much harder. The mouse took over all functionality of the keyboard. I found it to be significantly more straightforward. Basically, put the mouse, hover over a part of the map, and you would be able to get the coordinates from the mouse pointer to run the equations. And anywhere you click, you lock in those equations and fire a mortar projectile or a parabolic arc and the horde of angry aliens. Again, the IDE I was unfamiliar with. It took me a lot of time to figure that out. Windows Project CPP was actually the easiest part. Using Visual Studios and integrating C++ with Windows Forms, much harder. SDL integration was extremely hard to get SDL to work with C++ or Visual Basic. Tried with both, Visual Basic lost. And doing the build EXEs. We're going to show you the both build EXEs in a minute. And why don't we go ahead and do that now? This is the menu build E. And as you see, as we know, it works just like that. And this is the Warfare EXE where we get the SDL window. And I'll be very dangerous once I learn to program an SDL. And that is my project. Thank you, Professor, for guiding me through it. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank my references, all 16 of them. And have a nice day.